are, you know, deciding to shift from one realm to another. You know, this life that we live, ADMC lives, is not an easy one, and we've never claimed to be the good guys. I like to make this clear to anyone that is around the club that, you know, you fuck up, we're there to pick you up. But if you fuck up so much that, you know, there's no saving you, then there's no saving you. We're not good people. We've killed and we've, you know, done what we had to do to make a living. And there is people along the way that fall off, you know, and they are blooded out or made an example of. And people that want to be around the club or, you know, even just chilling with the club have to be okay with that. They have to understand that at the end of the day, the people that you stand with and the people that are around you might not be the same people as in 7 months. When I first decided that I wanted to be in this club, I thought someone like Winston would be with me until I die in the club. Someone like Remedy, I thought she would make it. I thought she would make it until Jacket, but she didn't. And for their own faults, at the end of the day, you know, they messed up or they decided that they didn't want to be part of this life anymore. And that's their decision.
It was interesting from the other side, trying to investigate the Winston situation. I knew what it was. Not my first rodeo seeing a blood out. I always wanted to know why Winston was blooded out, but I don't know if that's respectfully something I should be asking. Granted, I knew Winston when we worked together. We were hired together, so it was very interesting to watch him make his shift from where he was to where he went.
Yeah, it's club business, but the only thing I'll say is that he was selfish for once in his life and made the decision.
Obviously, the selfish choice was, I would imagine, beneficial to him, but negative to everyone else.
In a manner of speaking, yes. It's you know Winston, I know Winston. He's 100% in, but sometimes, you know, being 100% in is not enough, and some people need time to cook.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, he seems a lot more happier these days.
I haven't seen him in a while. I do hope he's doing okay, but granted, I don't know how you guys view somebody who went against a moral code. I'd imagine you probably don't care about him, and that's fair. I mean, I think that's something that is pretty common sense.
He brought me into this life, so I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of, I have a lot of love for him, and I get it. Sometimes the reason why a lot of people take a lot of time to make their way into either this club or anywhere else, really, I think especially for this club though, is that they need time to see if they mesh well with the MC mentality, because it's not just the same as joining a gang and doing gang shit. It's so different. It's a different world, and you need to be a different breed of person. You're an outlaw, essentially. You are someone that lives their life for who they want to be and the freedom that they can take. And not everyone meshes well with that, and not everyone meshes well with the ideas of MCs. They like the idea of it. They like the denim jackets. They like sick. You ride around in more, but fucking motorcycles or muscle cars or that kind of thing. They love the aesthetic, but they don't understand the deeper meanings to it. Some people join, and you can see it when people join if they join for a person. You can see it. You can see that the people, they don't join because they understand what an MC is, or they're willing to bend and understand and learn what an MC is. They just sort of join because they like the idea of it in their head.
It's a status. It's sort of a trophy for people mentally when they don't understand it.
And there's nothing wrong with people doing that to begin with. But if they don't learn and they don't understand and they don't shift who they are, then that's where it becomes an issue. That's where you get, the people that seem like they fit and then they fuck up. Do something they're not meant to and then lie about them. And then they're made an example of. You don't blood people out or, remove people for any silly reason. You're in this life until the end. And if you fuck up, we will pick you back up again. We will make sure that you get on the right path. But you need to accept that you fucked up. And you need to accept that sometimes, sometimes that is easier said than done. For me, it's hard for me. There's people like Winston who he was very selfish. I'm not posing that in a bad way. Winston was very selfless for a very long time, but he made one selfish decision, and then that was it. He decided, that was it. And there's others who maybe fuck up along the way, but you see promise, and then, it is what it is. And that's why I need to stress to these people that at the end of the day, if you're wanting to join this club or you want to be around us, you need to understand and you need to respect that. You need to know that down the line, the people that you joined with might not be there. The people that you joined for might never be there. And that's why you need to join for what we fight for, not for the people, not for your friends in the club. So I should join. Makes sense. Yeah. Nah.
JT, out of all the conversations I've had, I feel like you have, I'm going to use the word articulated. You've articulated a lot of the club's views and your personal views and how people need to see things probably better than just about anybody I've spoken to. It's pretty obvious that a lot of my time has been hanging around a lot of you, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's been a large portion of my time. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. But every day I'm around right now, I'm learning something new. I'm learning something different. I'm learning what people do. And I'm not talking about the club. I'm talking the way people talk in the streets, information people are willing to share, stuff I'm interested in that people are willing to teach me. I have enjoyed this last week at my own pace better than probably the last 3.5, 4 years of my time wearing a badge. And it's a culture shock because, truth be told, jokes aside, if I were to out one door and immediately put my foot in another door, I wouldn't have lasted a fucking week. I probably would have made a lot of fucking mistakes that I wouldn't have known prior. And I think sometimes I tell people this a lot, and I've used this analogy a lot recently, but for lack of a better term, I need to put my hand on a hot pan a couple times and learn what's hot, make some mistakes so I can do better. Because I'm not perfect. I have a very cop mentality. It's kind of expected for the time I spent in that place. But learning a different side of life is enjoyable, but it's also time consuming. There's a lot of steps along the way that I want to learn and know. And I've had a lot of people, some in the club, some in other groups, who have wanted me to be a part of a boost. I had someone call me earlier today who flat out said, "Hey, Flop, you're coming on a boost with us." And I was like, listen, I appreciate the offer, but I'm training at Milton's right now, and I'm getting mentored at the moment, and it's been a great time, and I appreciate it, but thanks, but no thanks. And it's I have so much opportunity that I could go and do. There's so many things I would love to go and do. I'm sure if I asked the right people, I could do moonshine in a day, and during the same day, learn how to rob a cash exchange. If I wanted to do that, but like, why choose this life? Why run?
Exactly.
I need to crawl before I walk, put simply. And I've been doing that, and I've had a lot of fun doing that. And I want to keep doing that for quite a while. I don't think there's ever going to be a date where I ever turn around and say I'm ready to kind of look into other avenues. I think I'm going to know if I feel like it's my time to ask questions when I need to. But for now, that's not in my future. I'm not looking at that as my future. My opinion may change on that. And if it changes, it changes. And at least at that point, I'll know where to go. But for now, every day's a new day, and I've been enjoying learning it at my own pace. And I'm learning to say no to a lot of people that, while I'd love to go along with, I'm not looking to jump ship immediately.
Good. I mean, people need to learn how to be civilians first before they do something like that. They need to learn from the bottom up. You know, I know a lot of people back in the day that would go, "Hey, do you want to just go on an oil rig?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah,
no."
no, I'm good.
I know people that used to, pick up random people and be like, "Hey, I'll hack it for you. You just give me like this amount of money from it." I'm like, right, okay, cool. Like, you need to learn how to be yourself before you can go down that route. You need to build baby steps before you can run. And it's just, I'm glad that you have that mentality about it because a lot of people don't, and a lot of people are just like, "Oh, of course I'm just gonna immediately jump into the biggest thing I can." Where people don't do these little things, they don't learn that they don't go through a laundromat and then go onto a cash exchange and then move on to like a Maze Bank or something. They just go, "Oh, Maze Bank makes the most amount of money. Let's do it." Yes, I'll just hold a hostage for you. That's all I'll do. No. The mentality of being able to take your own pace and move at your own speed is better than immediately jumping into something. So I'm glad that you understand that with yourself.
I want to unironically just a humble, I guess, commendment and appreciation, not only for just, talking and, giving me this perspective, but that perspective was the mindset I had in the person that has kept me sort of, I don't want to say in check, but has aided me and assisted me in pacing myself has been Tally, and I appreciate her for doing that. She's never once tried to egg me on to do something I didn't want to do, and she's always told me that if I have questions, I can ask them. Uh, but she's never forced me into doing something. She's never pressured me, and I've had a lot of people pressure me in the last week, but I have nothing but respect for Callie reminding me to take my time with it too. There are a lot of people that are giving me the time that I need, and those are the people that I'm cherishing the most right now. Because if I don't, then I'm going to fall into what I did the other day, which was I felt like I was being forced into a boost, and I had someone from Hydra try and take me on it. I didn't really want to be there, and in the car that was boosted, they went roof running, and then from roof running, they robbed a 24/7. And I literally called Tally. I'm like, please pick me up. Get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here. This is fucking insane. So.
Yeah, a lot of people see a freshly quit cop or a freshly fired cop or whatever, and they've known them previously, and they go, well, of course now they want to do crime. You know, let's show them all the cool shit we can get up to. But that's not what they need. They need that. They need that baby steps. They need the easing into it so that they can actually be there for the long haul rather than for the adrenaline rush. Because for me, that's what happened to me. I was before all the sanguine stuff and all the my changing mindsets after seeing like TJ on Twitter and seeing and speaking to him and doing like carrying out things for him. I was an adrenaline junkie, and that's all I cared about. I only cared about the next big thing to do, the next boost, the next rush of adrenaline that I can find. And then I seen the change, and I started beginning to understand what it takes, and then eventually I was able to do that stuff. But if I had been rushed into it from the beginning, like you're mentioning, it just wouldn't. I wouldn't have stuck. I wouldn't have stuck.
Yeah, that boost was the worst thing I've done in the last week, and I don't mean like worst crime I've done. I mean that was just I had a pit in my stomach because I realized I'm like this is not me. It might become me, but this is not me right now. And if this, it's all about setting a baseline. But if you start on, if you look at things on a ladder, and you start on the 8th rung out of 10, and you can only go up from there, you don't really have a lot of headroom. And I know that's not like a good mentality to look at it, because I don't look at crime based on like a level, but you know what I mean.
I get you. Yeah, boosts with people like Hydra is maybe not the best thing to do when you're just getting started.
That's never gonna happen again.
They can be very overzealous, I guess, maybe the word. I'm not good with words, but maybe the word one.
It was funny because Tally called me in the middle of that. She goes, "Listen, I just want to let you know." I didn't even tell her like how it was going. She just called me. She was like, "Listen, I just want to let you know. I know how Hydra can be. They're not bad people, but I know that they can be a little outgoing. So if you need anything, let me know." And I'm like, I was in a car with 3 of them. I'm like, yeah, I'll let you know. Hung up, and then as soon as I had free time, I ran. I'm like, Tally, pick me up. Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So right now, my main things, I used to street race years ago, and that's always been a passion, and that's been my one enjoyment I've been doing right now. And I know even Ziggy wants to do crime with me. I mean, honestly, if Rue and Ziggy want to do crime together, that's one thing. I get it. They want to look at it as like a family bond. But even like yesterday, Ziggy woke up and he's like, "Flop, I want to, come on, a fucking boost." And I'm like, Ziggy, I don't.
Yeah.
It's been a week. It has been 7 days. That time will come when it comes. Right now,
Mhm.
I need to, like I said before, crawl before I walk.
Yeah, I think for what it's worth, Ziggy was holding off on doing a fair amount of crime until you quit, which is it's fair. You know, I can see why he wanted to do. He wants to learn alongside you, and
I'll have my time.
yeah, everyone will have their moment and they'll have their time. So yeah, it's I get it. I get it. I get both sides. Uh, yeah, maybe let's not. We won't schedule any boosts with Hydra or just boosts in general until it's comfortable.
Well, I can tell you, if I ever get involved in a boosting gun, it will absolutely not be with Hydra. For now, I don't hate Hydra by any means, but I absolutely will probably
Mm.
find my way out that door for a little bit.
You'll probably be able to follow our comms a little bit better than Hydra's comms.
My God, I don't know. I finished a race. It was me, Ziggy, Rue, and I think Kizu on just a separate radio channel. It wasn't the Friends channel. It was a different one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I fucked up. I said, I'm down the road. I said, just come north on Bay Tree Canyon. And Ziggy and Rue at the same time were both like, which way though? I said, go north on Bay Tree Canyon Road. I said, you have a fucking compass. But I'm gonna have to learn.
Yeah, if you ever get on radio and you're doing crime with us, you will definitely get shouted at for a lot of street names.
I was one of the few cops that was good with it though. I would say like Boulevard del Perro, Life Invader. At least now,
Yeah, that's exactly how we do it.
yeah. I will usually just keep it pretty simple. I try and keep out filler words. As long as you guys are good with that, I don't think comms are gonna be a problem. If anything, I'm gonna have to slow my roll with comms.
Yeah, there's you can tell like back in the day when I would do like Jaws of like
Nikita,
races and
it
stuff,
was
they would
north.
just
I'm not
call
even
it a
gonna
street
fucking
name
fight
and
this.
that's it,
The
and then go
race ended
silent for
here.
about 3 or 4 minutes,
I wanted to
and
meet
then say
here.
something else.
That is
Or
north.
they would call it, "Hey, I'm doing BBD." I'm like, I know what that is, but the other 3 people in this job have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And the difference from that to the comms like with us, or I think there's probably other crews in the city probably do it the same way, but I think, yeah, I think it'd be good.
I'll definitely have my time. I mean, I think it's gonna be a fun learning curve. I'm already learning speaking to some people on radios. I'm realizing that like the first time I got on a radio, someone said radio check, and it took everything in me to not just blurt out 10-2. It was like this fucking trained hamster on a wheel in my head, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get that hamster off that wheel. I'm on a different wheel right now.
Yeah, wait until you're in a shootout and you ask someone to freeze.
Is that to identify people?
You just shout at them, "Hey, freeze!" You're like, wait. Typically, if we're in a shootout, we know who we're shooting at. But if I hear someone go, "Hey, freeze," as if we're about to shoot at someone, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, I can. A lot of the old, like, for example, Ivy's an ex-cop. She used to be a cop back in the day, and
Hmm.
she'll get pitted, and she'll go, "Oh, 1050." I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? It's but you can typically pick out what they mean by it.
Jesus Christ.
It takes a little bit getting used to, but yeah.
It's a learning curve. Listen, I'm all in for a learning curve. That's what this last week has been. It's just been a learning curve, and I've been enjoying it. It's weird because I really never thought I'd ever quit the PD, but I always knew that there was I had a very strong stipulation, and I always said if the state ever flew too close to the PD again, started breathing down our necks, I would be out of there. And it's funny how, unironically, with everything going on, it was the marshals coming in, and it was hearing about what the marshals are standing for and what they expect from the police department for me to
Mm.
realize that it reassured my reasons. And I'm like, man, like walking away from that and seeing this change of pace has been the best feeling I've had.
Is it rough for you to see dark there?
What's that? Sorry.
Is it rough for you to see dark in the marshals?
Yeah. Um, Truth be told, I had a little bit of a fight with my father about a week ago at this point. I don't even know. It was probably less than a week ago. Told him I was going to enjoy my life. I was going to do things. I never mentioned, obviously, anyone I've been hanging out with. I just talked about me with him. All I told him was that I was sort of an adrenaline junkie and that I always was. And that prior to, I was, uh, I saw myself maybe being in a street race at some point,
Mm.
which was a half truth because I told him I could see myself being there. But truth be told, I was already, in a bunch of them. So
Yeah.
I didn't tell him that though. But he pretty much told me, he tried to throw it in my face. And his end consensus on that was that, I don't like where this is going. You're going to end up with a bullet in the back of your head. And I lost it because not 3 weeks beforehand, I almost had a bullet in the back of my head, and I genuinely thought I was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him and I said that, you know, put simply, he said, I don't like where this is going. Uh, and I'm worried. And I told him, then be worried. And I walked away from him
Mm-hmm.
because I had given up with the idea of looking for not even the approval of my father's, but looking for the understanding to why I'm doing something. The fact I almost died and wanted to take this second chance at life a little differently was all I wanted. And to be honest with my father and have him spit in my face over it and tell me that I was just going to end up dead. Um, yeah, I gave up. I gave up, and I told Ziggy asked how it went, and I told him, I said, at this point, if he doesn't love me for who I am and he expects to put a stipulation on my life, then he's just gonna have to find some way to love me while I do the things that I do love and I experience new things. And part of that acceptance, to circle back to your question, was that someone asked me how I felt about Richard being in the Marshals. And put simply, I don't mind that he's in the Marshals. I don't like it. Truthfully, I don't even really agree with the Marshals, but it's where he wants to be. And similarly to how I would hope he doesn't hold grudges on me for my choices, I'm going to reciprocate and not hold grudges on him for his choices. So long as he understands the risks, just like I understand my own risks.
Mm.
I've kept it as mutual as I can. I didn't tell him that, but I've kept it as mutual as I can. So.
What I'll say is that for me, love is unconditional and it should always be unconditional. So if he views you as a criminal and maybe, you know, if that's how it is, then it's an issue for him. But
You're preaching to a choir, a very, very large choir on that.
yeah, but again, what I'll say is that he's not my family, but he's your family, and if he matters to you, he matters to me. That's exactly what I said to Ziggy when we had taken him to hospital after he was in the Mirror Park Lake up at the dam. Because he's not my family. I don't care. He is, he was a dispatcher at the time, and it is what it is, But because Ziggy loved him or loves him, and because Ziggy cares for him, it means that we should care for him. Not all of us are gonna go with that. I'm sure there's many people in the club that would not give a fuck. But for me, He's Ziggy's family. He's your family. He matters to you guys. He matters to me. I don't really give a fuck if he thinks I'm a criminal or if he thinks bad of me because of the life that I choose to live. That's his thing. If you know,
Mhm.
and you should obviously feel the same.
I
That's,
do. Yeah. I mean, I will. I never thanked you for what you did that day, but it meant more to me than you'll ever know. And I know you didn't do it for me. You did it for Ziggy, but just know that uh, I appreciated that day more than you'll ever know. Because the things I found out that the PD did after disgusted me. So, make a very long story short, because I don't have the details. Apparently, officers were being uh, giant fuckheads in the ICU, and the only officer that actually was there, any integral being, was Albert King. And it's amazing to think the only people that were actually assisting with helping, from what it sounded like, uh, was you guys. So
mm.
I will forever thank you guys for that gesture. Again, whether you did it for me or not, you definitely did it for Ziggy, and that's something that I appreciate.
I know what it's like to lose a father, and I don't want anyone else to ever go through that. So yeah, I and me and Darker, I wouldn't call his friends or anything, but he's one of the only people I'll let call me Jason. So that counts for something.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old timer. He's always been an old timer. His age is starting to show, but he definitely holds a very strong passion to that meaning. I completely forgot about this other night race, motherfucker. Oh well.
Well, we can wrap up there because I feel like we've talked for like 3 hours already.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, JT. And if there's anything that you ever need, uh, you let me know. Obviously, you know my boundaries and you know kind of how I'm doing things. But if you need something, I'll be honest and tell you if I'm comfortable doing it or not right now. Um, yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say.
No, same goes for you. If there's anything that you want to do or you want to get into, or if you literally just want to chat, then I'm always. If I'm around when you're around, then we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. When are you normally around?
Um. Yes.
I
I'm
have
around
I
all
have
times.
learned through the kind, sheer-hearted word of mouth and through other unnotable demons that it is the ADM yes in terms of time frame. Y'all
Pretty
motherfuckers
much.
have no schedule.
Yeah, I'll hear Sean go, "Hey guys, I'm going to bed," and then I go, "All right, see you later," and then 3 hours later, I'll see him randomly somewhere in the city doing his thing, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I'll go to bed for 8 hours, wake back up, see him there in the block or something. Go, he's not slept, he's just woke up, and then I'll see Faye up at the fucking. She wakes up when it's like 7 in the morning for me, and I'm like, "What the fuck, Faye?"
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Sean also needs. I truly believe that Sean has a hard time being away for longer than only a couple hours. He needs like he likes tea more than anyone I know from the UK.
Yeah, he cares a lot about the club, and he cares a lot about his team.
Yeah,
I'll say
and loves his fucking tea.
that. Yeah, literally.
But
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you get going.
appreciate it, brother. If you need anything again, give me a shout. Let me know.
Yeah, of course.
Who the fuck? Oh, that was a local yelling. I'm like, who the fuck's yelling at us? Jesus Christ! I was about to go scream at somebody. My God.
Check out this sunflower. Yeah, it's chilling.
Yeah.
Do you know the story behind the sunflower?
I know that I was sitting with Tally, and she said it was coming up to storm, and she went, "Good night." I said, "Good night," and she goes, "Good night, TJ." So I don't know if that was the intention or if she was just saying it, but
Faye told me uh, basically when TG was in the ICU and then he died, Ed ran off to grab something and he came back with one of these and he placed it beside the bed and I think everyone's kind of just assumed it was, it resembles TJ. But Faye told me a couple weeks ago that it's not really TJ it's meant to represent. It's Sunflower is Jesse, who was, well, I guess as in a relationship with TJ. Like he was the old Sergeant at Arms maybe for BBMC, like before. I don't feel he wasn't around when I was around. But Jesse was the sunflower and TJ was the bees, from what I've been told.
Interesting. I didn't. I honestly would have never known that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's an older thing that not many people. I would have never guessed it because it's not it's before my time. But someone like Faye, who's been around for a very very long time, she briefly remembered that she Faye has like a lot of memory issues from back in the day. So she doesn't remember everything, but she remembered that.
Damn. Well, I'm definitely gonna look at that sunflower a little differently now. Look at it, man.
Yeah, it resembles two people, I guess.
Well, it's doing its job because every time I'm gonna look at it, I'm definitely gonna look at it a little differently, which is nice. So.
Yeah, I tried to keep them up here because this sort of roof. I think it was a very long time ago where TJ brought us all up here one night and we all just sat here and just chatted shit. So
is that why you guys hang out here a lot?
Kind of, yeah. I think people have realized that it's a way that we can kind of connect with him, even though he's no longer around. And I think TJ preached a lot about the club being connected and being getting on with each other and just shooting the shit. Life doesn't have to always be go 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 go. You can take a minute to yourself and just sit with the people that you do the shit that you do with, and you can just relax. I think a lot of people see this sort of that as a way to sort of honor who he was.
One of my favorite things this last week is these moments, the talks I've had with people. As an officer, we were not allowed, and I don't say that jokingly, I mean that literally, we were not allowed to take time away from a call. Sometimes it would be back to back to back to back to back to back to back calls. The most downtime we had was the 20-minute meeting that we had. And then right after that, it was just go, 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 go. So the fact that you guys still honor the idea of sitting down and just talking to one another is it's commendable. I mean, that's such a freeing and nice thing to have. Because I'll be honest, in the last 7 months, I haven't had a moment to breathe. So I cherish these moments.
Good. That's all we can ask for.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go probably just bump out the Mosley stuff real quick because I am like 5 stars away, I think. But if you if you need anything, give me a shout, let me know, and I'll be in touch. All right.
All right.
All right, brother. Appreciate the chat. We'll talk soon. All right.
Of course.
Holy fuck! What a good conversation. It's interesting to hear JT's perspective on Ziggy doing crime, because in Flop's mind, he feels like people are just trying to constantly like go 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 go, And then hearing JT say, well, Ziggy was kind of waiting for you, puts a little different perspective on it. I thought that was someone saying hi to me. I was aiming for the garbage can. That has probably been one of the best talks thus far. I don't disagree. That was incredible. It's very interesting to hear because Flop is attached to the people right now. Flop's attached to the people in the club right now. But he's attached to the individual. But learning the freedom thing was pretty cool. You fucking piece of shit. No! So we don't get to see his POV on things? Really? I had no idea. I didn't know he didn't stream a lot. Nah, he's fucking amazing. Oh, shit. Sorry. Do you think there's any way of slightly repairing Flop's relationship with his dad's? It depends who you ask. I mean, Flop is not giving up on his fathers so long as all he wants is that his fathers to accept the fact that he had a traumatic experience that changed the course of his life. He honestly just wants his fathers to feel like that they actually care about him, put simply. Because right now Flop looks at his fathers and he feels like his fathers are putting walls up and boundaries to their love for him. And at this point, Flop kind of looks at it as, I've done my part. At this point, I'm done trying to do my part. At this point, they need to do their part. So, I don't think it's about Flop repairing. It's more, at this point, it's more Flop saying the ball's in your court. You need to repair this with me at this point. This is not Flop's job to do anymore. Flop is looking at this as, you know, I tried to be honest with you, you broke my trust, and at this point, wait, hold on, Blue. Fuck. We're gonna get shot by Hydra. This is such a Hydra fucking pink. God damn it. But yeah, I think at this point, Flop's view is not that he needs to rekindle with his fathers. At this point, his fathers need to rekindle with him, is how Flop's viewing it. He hasn't given up on him. Yeah, we're getting shot. Holy fuck. I'll call Cusa back in a minute. Oh my god. Seeing it in the sunlight, it's definitely not Hydra green, but in dim light, it was. But yeah, so Flop still loves his fathers. He hasn't broke the love. Flop's gonna continue to love both his fathers, but Flop really tried. But the thing that you have to remember is Flop hasn't told anybody in the club about the TJ thing. Not because he's Flop knows if he's told the club, they would just go and kill him, right? But the reality is that that's not what Flop is trying to do. Flop feels like what he said about what he said to Flop about TJ was more personal to Flop, but not related to the club. Flop didn't look at it as a direct correlation to the club. He looked at it as a that was a personal thing that was said from Richard to Flop, and Flop took that personal. So he isn't going around telling people about that part, not because he's trying to hide it, but because he doesn't feel like that's an integral part that people need to know. Yeah, it was an attack on Flop, not an attack on TJ, put simply. So, but I don't know. I don't know. I was going to protect his happiness, and it's up to them if they're going to support him with that. Yeah. When Flop is ready, yeah. I think Barry and Flop are going to kindle a lot more. So here's a fun fact that was brought up in that conversation. I can't recall if this was brought up before. You learn so much, and I'm going to be straight up about this. I'm in a little bit of like a culture shock with doing what I'm doing with Flop. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to learn, and I'm forgetting a lot of the smaller details. I don't remember knowing if anyone ever told Flop in character that TJ was Barry's son. I don't know if that was ever like properly explained to him, and if it was, I really don't remember. But the fact that JT brought that up, and hearing that people talk about, you definitely were, okay. I just don't remember who would have told Flop, truth be told. It was, okay. Regardless, Flop knowing that people have compared him to TJ a lot recently makes Flop a little bit more sort of, he wants to approach Barry with a lot of respect. He's not looking to approach him with, you know, all jokes and haha and hee hee. Like it's not all like big funny. Flop like genuinely has a lot of respect for Barry, while Flop doesn't know a lot about Barry. Yeah, but the problem is that you guys are saying that, but remember, you guys have the clips, you have the history, you have a record of it. Hi, it's me. There's some things that get lost. TJ's relation got lost. So there are things that are definitely gonna get lost in translation. I think it would be pretty impossible for people to assume that I'm to remember every little detail, but I do my best. It hurt my heart when JT said he's amazed that Barry is still okay when he does come around after losing his son. Yeah. I think the biggest part of what JT and Flop talked about that he took away was that JT was very JT explained the club to a good degree. JT has Flop looking at the club, because I actually didn't know in or out of character what the club like stood for, but the fact that they mentioned freedom so well, and JT explained freedom and how, you know, he's thinking about the club. I'm thinking about the club. And I think about just how different everybody is from each other. That's something that no one ever really explained to Flop. Flop looked at it as a club of people that just loved each other and were more kindled together, believing in something, but Flop didn't know what that belief was. So to see JT kind of put it into words was very, that's the first time anyone's done that with Flop. Every time Flop hangs out with anybody, he's going to see that just a little differently now. Generally, has to listen, you have to play character and stream at the same time. No wonder streamers forget things. Yeah. Yeah. I think there are a lot of points to bring up in that. I mean, if anyone has any questions about what JT brought up, Do you have a different perspective on Winston and Remy's journey with the club after this conversation? Not really. Because the thing is that, unlike a lot of people... Oh, fuck off. Oh, of course you're Emmanuel. Not really. Flop has always been... Flop literally was the homicide cop. Flop was the one who knew... Flop knew that blooding outs were always... They were never for no reason. There was always factual, evident reason for somebody to be blooded out of a gang. Flop always knew that, and it's why I stress and emphasize the Vagos investigation so much, is because that story is supposed to give a perspective that Flop looks at life differently than other people. Flop's not other cops in the mindset that he is to... Flop doesn't look at gangs as gangs. Flop looks at gangs as individual people who have cares and passions that other people maybe don't see. So... You don't know who Jason is? JT is? Jason's a good one. JT's a good one. I like JT. Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot of people assume that it's like immediately like Flop for club, right? But the reality is that it's more than that. It's... Flop doesn't look at it that way. Did you ever figure that out? Yes, I believe Frank told Flop, but I don't really remember what was said, to be honest. It was so long ago, I really don't remember like what the actual initial was, but I know that Frank admitted to being there. I think it would be hilarious if Flop did join Hades. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, no, Flop definitely has a completely different outlook on the club. Because Flop loves the people right now because he's not in it, and all Flop has to attach to himself is the people. But now Flop gets to look at it as, you know, he has an attachment to the people, but he also has an attachment to why these people are where they are. That's something that no one has explained to Flop. So you're saying it was nice to know what the club is about, but how does Flop feel about hearing about ADMC and freedom? I mean, not to sound cliche, but Flop is on his quest to essentially be free, to have freedoms, and to have the appreciation to know that he's doing things that he loves in life. Same way that ADMC is doing things that they love in life because it stands for what they believe in, right? So to some degree, Flop does actually kind of understand and see the perspective. But I never knew why everyone said not guilty. Swear to God, in or out of character, never knew why people pleaded not guilty. 90 miles later, out at the beach. Let's go, Phil. Fucking A. Let's go. How's the biking been going? Yeah, pretty much the whole idea of pleading not guilty is that it's not that we're pleading not guilty because we don't believe in being guilty. It's that we're not guilty for the things that we do. And if you include Ed's conversation about we never claim to be the good guys, it's that we are aware of what we do and we're aware of who we are. And we're aware that we're not good people. And the know of knowing that as long as you're aware of that and you're able to accept the fact that those people do not plead guilty because no one is ever guilty for the things that they do. That's like, you know what I mean? Real quick, yellow. Gamer Kitty, thank you for the 19 months. I appreciate you. Can we get some hearts in chat? Jesus fucking Christ, this car. Thank you, Gamer Kitty, for the 19 months. How you doing? I've been doing amazing. Thank you for all the resubs, by the way, dudes. Thanks for all the new subs. Thanks for the follows. If you're new, happen to be enjoying your stay, hit the follow button. I'd love to see you come back. I've been enjoying the fuck out of this roleplay. I don't know. People have asked why Flop hasn't done crime and why he's hesitant. Flop doesn't know who JT is. That was the first time Flop and JT ever actually talked. Flop learning who everyone is in the group first has been like so refreshing. It's been nice. The problem is, as soon as you go to crime, JT put it the best. I think JT explained why I don't want to do crime better than I explain why I don't want to do crime. Proof of beach stand. Can I show the photo, or is this for me? Oh my god, can I show that? That's fucking sick. I actually got a nude this time. That's insane. That's a tall ass fucking wiener. Got a lot of length on that one, dude. Fuck. Good shit. Phil, can I show this? If Phil says yes, oh my god, let's go. Okay, chat, I'm gonna show you the nude that Phil just sent me. This is from Phil, aka, for anyone who doesn't know, you should subscribe to the fucking YouTube right goddamn now. Phil does all the editing for the YouTube. He's amazing. But he also sent me a nude. He sent me his wiener. A nice wiener, to be honest. Oh, we're getting robbed. I thought they're whipping you on me. Phil, I have a question. When you bite down on the wiener, do you wrap your lips around it first before you bite it, or do you just like bite down? How do you eat your wiener? I gave it a lick like any decent human being. My man. Okay, cool. You deep throat your wiener. No! What did I come back to? Oh, we're just sharing Phil's wiener with everybody. Sucking is not an option. Let me explain something to you. There are very few foods that you should be sucking. Pizza and wieners are two that we should just be eating, okay? Yeah, what can I say? Phil and I are pretty fucking cool like that, okay? Kylie sucks pizza. I know. I fucking know. I don't want to see it. I don't want to. I'm not watching the clip. It disgusts me. There's few things in this world that break my heart. Is it true that Five Guys has good hot dogs? Don't they like split those bitches down the middle and like cook them on the grill? They look good. I don't know. Do you prefer wieners with cheese filling in the middle or not? I've never even heard of a cheese-filled hot dog, but all I'm gonna say is, put simply, cheese makes anything better. How the fuck do you suck on pizza? I cannot comprehend that. Oh no. I will not watch the clip, but if somebody would like to post it in my chat, I will not be watching it.